The thing with a private aircraft is you do it once and you hear the word want. Oh my God, this is great. I want one. If you be careful, audience. If you do it twice, the word want gets replaced with need. I need one.
The hook is in.
And nobody ever gets hurt because they just unleash. It's like a superpower cape. And it's not just the visual. It's not just the convenience. It's not just the security. It's not just the safety. It's a force multiplier. 1 in 10 of those trips will make you over $1 million.
Welcome to Own the Jet by Aspen Aero Group, where we share perspectives from some of the leading voices in private jet ownership and business aviation. I'm your host, Derek Savage, along with my co-host, Jason Spoor, president of Aspen Aero Group. Our guest today is Roger Woolsey, the CEO of Millionaire. Roger oversees a global network of 5-star FBO facilities that provide a seamless and luxurious experience for jet owners worldwide. Join us as we dive deep into the mechanics, mindset, and moments that define jet ownership. And together, we'll learn what it takes to own the jet.
Roger Woolsey from Millionaire. Thank you so much for being on Own the Jet.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you.
It's a pleasure, believe me.
For everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, we are shooting on location here at Millionaire in White Plains, New York. Millionaire is an FBO, that means fixed base operator, and that is basically like a private. Am I describing this right? It's like a private air terminal for people who own their own aircraft.
That's right. Just like an airline has to have a terminal to put passengers on and off, or get a rental car, get back to their vehicle. You have to do the same for private aviation. So we're really it's kind of a combination of a gas station, if you want to look at it that, versus or a terminal, but it's really a VIP terminal. So terrible nomenclature, FBO, but that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing I'm finding with aviation, there are so many acronyms that I get lost sometimes, right?
That's right.
So I have to remind myself, and I guess a lot of the people that I talk to in aviation, it's like, I don't know what that means.
So in other words, Roger and I could have a whole conversation and you would have no idea what
it's just alphabet soup to me.
The V1 go to the T2 and then
put the flaps up there.
And then all the letters are words and all the times are like military. It's a lot.
Well, fixed base operation, people don't realize, but when aviation first started, it was barnstormers. I mean, these were the Red Barons with twin aircraft, and they would literally give rides by landing in fields, talking a farmer out of some free gas, and he'd give rides. So there was no fixed airport, which is the F for fixed, and then the base, because the military and then the float planes back in the day of the Clippers, they were on water and moving, so then it was base. So the military is really kind of what gave it, and then of course operations, because you've got jets moving and towing and fueling and fixing and hangaring. It's like a boat dock marina. When an aircraft lands, they're going to need a rental car, or their family's here to pick them up. So the family can gather here, their friends, if they're doing business, their bank or their customers can be waiting on them. So when they land, they have a place to meet. We actually have conference rooms for them to have meetings.
And you've got these in multiple cities. I mean, this isn't the only one. You've got, how many Millionaires exist?
We're in 38 cities across North America right now. So we're a few in Canada, down to Colombia, all the way up to the Americas right now.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
So how did you get in this business? How does one become the leader of an FBO organization?
Well, I don't know. They fall there, I think. No, it's no. I lived close to an airport when I was young, so of course, looking through the fence, I saw airplanes and thought that'd be really cool. And one day when I was at 15, 16, I took my first flying lesson.
Okay.
This is one of the few great privileges of our country and nation. You can actually start flying before you can drive legally, which is amazing. So. 15, started taking the lessons. High school, got my ratings. I had made it through all my professional ratings by the time I graduated high school, and
it's impressive.
Lucky for me, one of the gentlemen, I mowed his yard and painted fences, and to make money to learn flying. I did not know that he was even a pilot, but he was Eric Clapton, and
really?
He was his personal pilot. His personal pilot.
Interesting.
And Julio Iglesias.
He
called me one day and said, hey, gee, did you ever...
So you just happened to have a neighbor that flew these guys around.
Please, that's right. It was his weekend home that I used to take care of, and I didn't know this, but next thing I knew, 3 days later, I was the co-pilot to Stevie Nicks and her world tour with Fleetwood Mac, and
your life changed like
my life
that.
changed overnight. So
Nice.
it's my life changed overnight. So started flying the rock bands, started my own company with the rock bands. A lot like what you do. A band would lease a plane because it's pretty.
Yeah, for sure.
And I happen to also be an A&P mechanic. So I would fly it the day, work on it at night, fly it in the day and work on it at night. We almost missed a concert one time. I was flying the band Chicago. And I owe them a lot, right? So they showed up early, and I'm still greasy from working on the airplane all night. And they're making fun of me, and I'm young, and I'm like, guys, it's not a guitar. It's not a drumstick. It's an airplane, and you lease a pretty plane. You call me to fly it. I said, would you please let me pick out your airplane, because behind the paint might be termites.
Right.
It's good.
That's
maybe
exactly right.
maybe it's a great airplane. It needs some paint and interior.
Agreed.
So they said, that'd be a good business.
Yeah.
And off I at 19 years old, I heard them tell me to start my business. Not that would be a good business. Anyway, I started my business, and within about 3 years, I was running 90% of all the rock and roll bands in North America on tour. So we grew pretty good for having a good reputation, staying on time, and getting them good, safe transportation.
What kind of planes were you using?
Primarily Gulfstreams. I had, back in the day, we had Viscounts, Gulfstreams primarily. We had a few Learjets, Saberliners, small jets, but we were running the jets on tour. From that, one night I had a particular country western band that a wife broke her femur. We had to get a medevac. Then one of those showed up, sort of the same thing. I went, why is it not nice just because it's an ambulance? I mean, it looked kind of beat up. So within 6 months, I was in the air ambulance business. And today,
So all these things keep happening. They're just like, I'm going to get in this business now.
well, I don't mean to, it's honestly, you remember the Gillette commercial? The guy said, I love the razor so much I bought the company. I see things need to be fixed, and then I end up getting in it for the wrong reason. I just want to fix the product, and then thank God they've made money. So the touring made money. It led me to the medevac business, which today we are probably one of the largest medevac, even though Millionaire is known for our luxury terminals.
Exactly.
But I have a boutique business that does medevac. We've done 27,000 heart, lung, liver transplants since we've been in business.
Wow.
I mean, it's just outstanding. It's astonishing, really.
That is.
So we probably any given day have 10 to 14 aircraft in the sky doing medical transplants, which is another business people don't think of general aviation doing.
So are those airplanes based nationally? Or
they're strategically placed where the transplant centers are. So we have
Makes
some in
sense.
California, some in Texas, some in Florida.
And
And then we have and then what that did is it caused me to keep coming back to the same gas station, same FBO.
Right.
And again, I got frustrated with that because like gas stations, they were gas stations. And I thought these really are the first and last impression of a flight department. And, people get private aviation wrong, actually, I think. They're in the movies, they think they're luxury, they think it's rock stars and movie stars that fly them, but they're business tools.
Exactly.
They're absolute business tools. And, the way I've always described them is like one of these. I mean, they looked. I remember the first cell phone. I thought it was luxury.
But exactly.
I could go back to using my rotary dial phone. But how productive would I lose, right? And so that's what the private airplanes are. They're high productive tools, and I just thought they're a big deal, and the facility should be a big deal. They should represent you when you land and you depart, because your bankers, your family, your investors, your friends are walking through these facilities. And the experience doesn't end at the aircraft. And so that's why we got into the Millionaire FBO brand, and that ends up now being the bigger business of everything we do.
Nice. And that's absolutely right. Looking at different facilities that do the same thing. Millionaire seems to, with every facility, takes it to the next level.
And
takes it to the next level.
Well, we try to mimic the environment too. I mean, we were in, prior to the pandemic, we were in Beijing. Well, everything was very Chinese inside. It wasn't like an American luxury.
Right.
When we're in the Bahamas, we're not really in suit and tie, because when you come to the Bahamas, 95% of our customers are on vacation. So we're literally in short sleeve shirts and Bermuda shorts, and we actually greet the aircraft with a margarita when you land. You know? So it's we try to take on and be a representative of that community.
Yeah, that's great.
But they're absolutely supposed to, feel safe, feel luxurious, because you're typically conducting business, and we're trying to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, they say you first taste your food with your eyes. So we want to be a part of that experience, whatever purpose or mission you're doing with that aircraft, whether you're on vacation with your family, or you're raising capital for your business, or you're trying to close that very important deal with a customer. We want to make sure we first help your entourage taste the food with their eyes. We want to be a part of that experience.
And this facility here definitely does that, by the way. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
We've been operating kind of out since we've been here. We have all this gear and we have all this stuff. So we've been operating out of one of your conference rooms that you have here, which has been great, because now we're able to actually conduct business, because not only are we doing On the Jet, but Jason owns a business, and he's trying to do some stuff. So we have things to do. We have business to take care of. You've got the facilities here to do it. So that's been great. Your staff has been great here. I mean, we've had Arvin helping us out ever since we landed, and even before, to scout out locations and just make sure that everything was great. So I mean, it's really been a different experience and a better experience than the last time I flew Delta, take
your shoes off, the belt off.
It's different.
Well, the real problem is they can't keep a schedule. I mean, it's really, really tough right now. And what was it? Susan Art of War, it says, when your enemy's busy killing themselves, don't interrupt them. The airlines are really driving a lot of people to us. And the thing with a private aircraft is you do it once and you hear the word want. Oh my God, this is great. I want one. If you be careful, audience. If you do it twice, the word want gets replaced with need. I need one.
The hook is in.
And nobody ever gets rid, because they just unleash. It's like a superpower cape. And it's not just the visual. It's not just the convenience. It's not just the security. It's not just the safety. It's a force multiplier. 1 in 10 of those trips will make you over $1 million.
Sure.
I mean, yesterday I did a meeting in one state. By the afternoon, I gave a speech in Denver, and then yet I was able to get here this morning for a county meeting this morning, and able to do this. And I'm a nobody. But if I didn't have a private aircraft, there's no way I could. Each of those were in a different city, except for the county and this morning. They were all in different states. So to be in 4 meetings in less than 24 hours in 3 different states. That can only be done, right? Just like I can do an email and a phone call, whereas if I have to go back to the old day of writing a letter, licking a stamp, and using my rotary dial phone, you're just less productive. And that is literally the world without a private airplane.
And it's a time machine, right? It creates tons of time. Just like you said, you cut a ton of time yesterday.
It just does.
What's the thing that you feel makes Millionaire the gas station that people want to go to? Not that I'm calling it a gas station, but
no, you're right. You're right.
This is the only FBO that I've personally been to, right? But your brand, from what I can tell, is about the experience and about the luxury. Well, what can you say about that?
Being a pilot myself and flying executives, businesses, rock stars, I really understand the power of everything around it helping to communicate the message, the quality. So literally, we're just trying to elevate that experience. So Millionaire, to use a cliche, we probably are the Four Seasons or the Aman in a sea of Best Westerns.
As a pilot myself, I agree with that. I agree.
But even a Best Western is better than going commercial, or when you're trying to get things done. I mean, and not every city can have 3 or 4. I mean, we've got 7 fireplaces in this facility. We've got 4. I mean, yes, this is a little over top, but we're in New York City. So we have ambassadors. We have CEOs of almost every major Fortune 100, 500 coming through the facility. So we need to reflect that. Now, if you get into Indianapolis, Indiana, we're very, very fantastic too. But guess who one of our top clients are? one of our talk all the race cars.
Oh, right.
we
sure.
we got a race theme,
Yeah.
the Indy 500,
Yeah.
and it's a little more. So it's we just try to take on the local field, but
Like it.
but aviation as a whole, it's about making a force multiplier for the end user. So whether you're in Falfurrias, Texas, Town, Arkansas, or New York City, you're going to have maybe some different levels. But having a private aircraft, whether it's a piston plane, turboprop, or a jet, you're going to get things done you never dreamt you could do,
Right.
and you're going to provide your employees the ability to have a life with their family
Yep.
while they massively produce,
Yep.
and you're going to have a loyalty out of your employee base that you've never had before.
Yeah.
So because you're providing them
Time.
elegance, time, quality of life,
Yep.
and getting back to their family, keeping them safe, and you're having really, really good conversations while you're flying.
That's exactly
The
right.
most productive time
Yep.
I have in my day
Yep.
is in an airplane.
In the airplane. Yeah.
I'm not getting interrupted. I'm focused on my customer, my bank, or if I'm on the internet, I can really get things done. So airtime is extreme productivity,
Yeah.
opposite of what you're used to if you've never used an aircraft. Because if you're on the airline, there is no privacy.
Right. Right.
There is no conversation. There is, and internet, good luck. It might work.
We're anticipating this year is going to be a lot of new jet owners, right? Because
Be a banner year.
you've got the bonus depreciation situation happening, and like everybody in the business that I've talked to, at least,
Yep.
is like, a
coming
lot
back.
of people are going to be buying jets, and there's going to be a lot of new jet owners. What are some things that like new jet owners might need to know about, owning a jet and coming to an FBO, coming to Millionaire? What are some things that like maybe they don't know that they need to know?
Well, a couple things. One, you're good FBOs out there, and there's quite a few. We not the only one, even though we like to strive to be the
Yeah, of
best.
course. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to look at us like a concierge center. I mean, we've got staff, we've got conference rooms. Even if you live, I'm in Houston, Texas, FBO, and you live in Houston and you're my base tenant. In other words, you keep your jet in my facility. What you do is you call us and you say, we're leaving at 11 in the morning. I'd like to have food. I want this, I want that. We can still come in and have meetings in our conference rooms prior to you leaving.
Okay.
Or when we can help you on the other end.
Yeah.
Hotels, restaurants, recommendations, facilities to work. So we are a concierge. But on top of that, then we also take care of your aircraft so that you don't worry about it. I want my customers, they're so diverse. I have tugboat operators. I have lawyers. We have medical center operators. I have heart surgeons. We have aircraft brokers. We
Yeah.
have, hangar people who make clothespins. I have chicken producers.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
want you
Yeah.
to worry about the
Oh.
chickens and the clothespins and the aircraft sales. Let us worry about the
Take care of the
logistics
plane.
behind the scenes so that you just get to point A to point B. Go close a deal, create value, open a new plant, get some new jobs.
Yeah.
The airplane can take, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to empower you to do your magic seamlessly, stress-free.
Yeah.
Let us handle the rest. And I'd say another thing that we can do, a Millionaire can do for a new aircraft operator, is in a really weird way, I don't know, we could be the silent partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meaning, you buy the aircraft, your corporation buy the airplane, and think of it like an Airbnb.
Okay.
If you're not using it every day of the week, let me go put some passengers on it a day or two when you're not using it, and I can help defray your cost.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not a bad partnership. And I
Right,
say it's
right.
the silent partner because you still own the airplane, you design it. It's not like, well, I don't want somebody to dirty my plane. They're not going to.
Yeah.
And number two, if you need it and they need it, guess what? You own the plane.
Yeah.
You get it.
You get
I mean,
it.
we've
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
80 airplanes. I mean, we're very boutique, but that are in charter fleets plus other operators. We'll just put them in another airplane. But it helps bring some costs down on the owner so they're not carrying the full financial burden. So if you're brand new, you've never done it before,
Right.
I highly recommend that. Test it out because you
Yeah.
can say no to the trips or you can say yes. And if you end up using the plane so much that you don't need that, don't want that,
Cut it out.
cut it off. You don't have to Airbnb your house.
Yeah.
So
So talking about costs and talking about expenses, like that's a big part of owning a plane or owning a jet that, you have to, I know Jason, you have to talk to people about that all the time when they're like, I want such and such jet, you're like, well, it's not just the price of the jet. You got to worry about everything else.
Yeah.
So
there's operations. You gotta pay for this thing, and it doesn't go. So you got a certain amount of money every year to keep this happening. And
You've kind of got three buckets in owning an airplane, right? You
Yeah.
got the purchase.
Uh-huh.
Good news is you'll get that back when you sell it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that is bucket one.
yep,
Bucket two then
Yeah.
is never fly it. Don't ever fly it. Think of it like a horse.
Okay.
You still got to put her in a barn.
Yeah.
You still have insurance and you've got pilot salaries,
Yeah.
even if you don't fly. So that's what we call the fixed cost.
yep. That's fixed. Yep.
And then you have the hourly. When you do use it, you are burning gas and you're putting some catering on the plane and paying some landing fees. So those are your three buckets. What you can't do is take all those costs and compare it to an airline ticket.
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
do you want to compete with me with a rotary phone and sticking a stamp on your mail?
Right.
Or do you want to let me close the deal and
Yeah.
steal the acquisition or take your customer while your mail is still
That's right.
at the U.S. Postal Service?
Yeah.
Right.
It is literally like that
Yeah.
in the meetings.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure it's a big flex if, like, your competitor flies in on Southwest and, and
You've been there for a day or two. Yeah.
You're rolling up in your private jet.
And I'll tell a true story that happened. Again, I'm a nobody compared to most of our clients, right? And I had a particular airport I was wanting to get on really badly, not so easy to get to. I had just happened to hear that the opportunity finally popped.
Yeah.
So I called down and I'm like, hey, I hear. And they said, oh, you don't understand. We already have a deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean you already have a deal? I thought yeah. They're going to be in, on Saturday. We're going to sign it. We're going to close in a week. I'm like, but today's Wednesday. Why are they not there now? Well, they got to make the logistics. I mean, it's not easy to get to. They got to go change planes. I said, I'll see you this afternoon at 4:00. And he's like, it is 11. I said, I'll see you at 4.
Yeah.
And I ran out, got my jet. I flew down. I closed the deal that night. The next morning, I took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I took the opportunity.
That's great.
So,
Love it.
If you you run power plants or it doesn't matter what business, you're in the trucking industry. You can go close a deal with the orange producers or,
Yep.
before your competitors can get there.
Yeah, for
or if you're in a production company, even if you're in manufacturing and your plant gets shut down because you need a part, don't wait for it to be shipped.
Yeah, go get it.
I one time flew a pipe.
Yeah.
A piece of pipe 3 feet long to Dead Horse, Alaska. It was an $80,000 charter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, my God, that is an expensive piece of pipe. They're like, yeah, but we're losing $100,000 an hour for the rig to be down.
Yeah. So you hurry up. Yeah.
You hurry up. So most of your aircraft owners are in businesses that they have more uses for that asset than they've ever even dreamt. Even when they're thinking about buying one,
Right.
they don't even know all the ways it's going to save them.
Right.
So it's pretty
Totally.
cool.
And then I guess what's the opportunity cost of not having
It is.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of this comes in. And so
Yeah.
it's the opportunity cost or closing that deal. So again, if I were to go back and say I own my own airplane to fly to that opportunity and I divided out all those costs, holy cow, I spent $30,000 to do that trip. I
Right.
could have bought an airline ticket for $1,000,
Yeah.
but I'd have lost a $60 million deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Adds a lot of perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of makes
Yeah.
sense when
Does
you
that make
think it
sense?
that way. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
that's you look at those costs, but that's where
and you get that a lot, right? And whether it's a public company or private, how do I justify the airplane? And you see guys getting wrapped up with this all the time, and just because of the opulence of an airplane. But at the same time, like you just said, if you took that and divided it out and ran it against your budget, the airplane's going to win every time.
You can't compare it to just your transportation to cost of transportation cost.
Right.
You have to throw the opportunity.
Yep, always.
What did you win? What did it create for you? Right. I mean, you go buy a semi truck, it's expensive. You could have bought a bicycle. Why did you buy the truck? Because it hauls things and makes me money. Okay,
right.
the airplane's going to make you money.
Yes, it is.
That's what it's there. Or you've already made your money and you're going to have a quality of life you've never had. So you're in one of the buckets, but 90% of our buyers, 90% of our operators are business uses.
Yeah.
They really aren't just the vacation with the family. God
You
bless
just
those
happen
that
to
do.
be able to take a vacation with it when you want.
You get to do both. You
So
get to
that
do
helps.
both. It's a twofer.
Yeah.
It's a 1 + 1 = 7
Yeah.
transaction.
Yeah. What's your favorite plane? What do you fly? Yeah, what do you own? What do you fly in? What's your
This is awesome
what's your
stuff
jam?
right here.
That's a hard question, and honestly,
You're a pilot though. You've been a pilot since you were 15, 16, right?
I have a small Bonanza, which is a little 6-passenger prop plane.
Okay.
I love that airplane because of anything I do, even business.
Yeah.
It's the price of a Ferrari to buy, so it's not that expensive. And honest to God, and gas, and it's the same as driving.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing 200 mile an hour for 13 gallons an hour, right? So it's
a great machine.
It's like driving.
Yeah.
So I love that little airplane for my small stuff, but
Yeah.
obviously it's not big enough to do a New York, LA, or Texas, New York. So I do have a small jet. So I have a Citation. But also because I'm in the medevac business, I actually have a fleet of airplanes. So I have Learjet, Citations. I have two King Air 350Is.
Okay, yeah.
Turboprops. And then for the fun side, I do have an L-39, which is a Czechoslovakian fighter jet, which is fun for air show work. And,
Hold on. You have a Czechoslovakian. You just blasted through a Czechoslovakian fighter jet.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
That's
fun.
good. Yeah,
Tell me about that. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's for. But I'll tell you, again, that can't possibly make you money.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
it's interesting.
You can sell rides.
Well, you know what I do? I mean, Elton John happens to be a client of ours that still stays with us. I mean, I fly a lot of hospitals, and they do charity work, and I donate. I'll donate a fighter jet ride as an auction item.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
One of Elton's, it raised $50,000. We just did one last week in Colorado for another charity that they just raised $30,000 for the ride.
That's
So
awesome.
again, and it there's no quid pro quo for it, but
Right.
these are clients. They're
Yeah.
friends. I mean, and so it's a great tool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's kind of cool that you're taking something that was built as a tool of war and doing charity
and
work.
making charity work with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's pretty cool.
We've done stuff for the Children's Hospital, the Shriners, the burn centers. We do a lot of military awareness, things like that. We'll show up for things, flyovers, things like that, and air shows. And then we have and then another one is a World War II bomber.
Okay.
We have an A-26 Invader.
Yeah.
And if you stick a gun in my head and make me choose my favorite airplane of all those, it's going to be the bomber.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Is that even legal? Like, how do you?
I know. It's
bomber.
He owns a bomber.
You're like, it's cool if you don't bomb anyone.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, is
Exactly.
that-
Well, it's a World War II. It's unique.
Okay.
It was in the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, wow.
It also was in the Korean War.
Okay.
So what is amazing about that is we still have a lot of vets that we're losing them fast,
Yeah.
but they're still with us. And so this is something that Millionaire put together, restored, and made it a flying piece of history.
Nice.
We like to go to grand openings. We
Yeah.
like to, when we open a new facility or a new hangar, we like to have events.
Yeah.
We also fly to air shows. We put it on display. But every World War II pilot or World War II vet, I mean, when we were in Normandy just last summer, we had one that was in the death march on the ground when the A-26 came over his head. He came up to the aircraft, held it, and just bawled like a baby. And there were 30 of us around him, and we all started crying.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's a way to honor our past, but it's also a way to inspire our future. And why I say inspire our future, because I want to be honest, when I was in my public education in Northwest Arkansas, I hated history.
Yeah.
But you show up with an aircraft like this, it's got stories, and you've got young kids, and they'll look at it and they get enthused. They get enthusiastic. They enjoy history. Maybe they want to be in aviation. I mean,
it makes it real.
If you're a pilot,
Right.
an engineer, a mechanic, which is a great career, it starts usually at an air show.
Yeah.
So they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but an experience is worth 1,000 pictures.
Yeah.
So we love to honor our past, inspire the future, and that's really what the A-26 is about. So we get it out as much as we can. We just last week at Oshkosh with it. We love it. So it's a
Yeah.
great tool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I was expecting you to just be like, yeah, I love my citation. But yeah, that's a great story.
Citation is the magic carpet ride that makes things happen. I'm able to close deals, be in 2 cities at once. And if I'm going somewhere myself, I don't like empty seats. I'll load up 6, 7 more of my teammates, employees, and say, come with me. Sometimes, I'll tell you what, I one time left Houston and was going to Austin, and I had 4 empty seats. And I looked in the facility, and I grabbed 4 of my housekeeping. Now, housekeeping's never been in a private jet.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're coming with me. Get in the plane. They're like, oh my God, why? I'm like, get in the plane. Why? I said, 1, I want you to experience the people that you serve every day. 2, I want you to go see another facility. 3, they do something better than you. I want you to learn it and bring it back. Number 4, you do something better than they do. I want you to teach it and leave it. 5, we're going to jump in a crew car. We're going to go get a great meal. We're going to have a good time. All those employees, this was 8 years ago, they're all still with me.
That's awesome.
I mean,
stuff like that.
It creates an environment of, family versus a job. So again, does it sound like I like private airplanes?
Yeah.
I mean, I love your business. I
Yeah.
love that you're infecting new people and you're helping people get into this because they will never regret it. It is not, this is not the business of the boat. Best and worst day, buy it, sell it. That's not this business.
That's right.
What's in the future for Millionaire?
Well, we love the space. I do try to think strategically sometimes. There's always a downward pressure or commoditization in every business you're ever in. I don't care what you're in, there's a pressure on you. There is in ours. So I want to continue to try to keep it personal and relevant. I do not want to turn into the, Sanford and Sons of gas stations again. I think that these need to stay very nice and elegant, and hopefully our customers still do that. The fax machine never saw email coming, right? And just took them right out of business. I mean, Kodak did not see the iPhone take them out. But I think until Star Trek, you can beam a person from point A to point B. You're going to be here. You need airplanes because I can call you on the telephone and talk to you. I can, cut a deal on Zoom just as good, but I have never in my life actually done it. I need to see you face to face.
I want to be there.
I want to shake your hand. I need to see the property. I need to meet your people to do business. And if I don't know a human being that doesn't have that same trait. So we need transportation. We need to get from point A to point B to do deals. The world is spinning faster. Business is more competitive. And so I don't see this as a fad, and I don't see some new innovation knocking us out of business. So I think we're relevant. We just need to keep doing our job well. So Millionaire wants to continue to grow, build out the management team a little bit, build out the locations to more airports. And, we don't want to take over the world. I'd rather be, again, I don't know, I got to be careful naming out brands, don't I? I mean, but I would rather.
Talk shit, dude. It's cool.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, I'd rather be Ferrari than Ford. I just would. So we're never going to try to take over every airport in the world. I want to stay tight and boutique, but I want to be nimble and I want to stay quality. So that's really where Millionaire's headed.
Awesome. Is there anything that you can think of that might be, just a good kind of like here's a great piece of advice for people that are considering owning the jet? The thing that maybe you wish you would have known before owning a jet, or the thing that you see a lot of people run into that might be a good thing to say, like, here's, not to put any pressure on you to come up with something on the spot, but like, a good parting words of wisdom sort of thing about owning a jet and what it means to own a jet.
Well, all you have to do is go back into history and go thousands of years. And who were the superpowers of the world? Where were they? They were the ones that ran the sea. Ports. You had Spain, Italy, they all ran ports, because ports is where you move trade, it's where you moved people, it's where you moved ideas. That's where the superpowers of the world were ports. This is an airport. And so Walmart will tell you, over and over and over again, Bentonville, Arkansas was isolated and no one took him serious. Sam Walton was not taken serious until he got an aircraft. And when he got an aircraft and an airport, he started to be able to take Walmart, and you now see what it is today.
Right.
Cargill, small town. Champion Spark Plug, small town. An aircraft seems expensive at first if you've never been around it. It is the most brilliant acquisition you will ever make in business. And if you've got the money and you don't need it for business purposes, it will make your life better as it is just, giving you the freedom of life. But you are turning your port into the world. So there's one great congressman once that said, a mile of concrete on a highway is a mile, and a mile of concrete at the airport opens the world.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
love it.
You really are unleashing your business in a way that you can't even imagine today. And you know what? You're wrong. Sell it next year.
Yeah.
You had a great time for the year. You get your money back. Took the depreciation.
Right.
You get right back where you were.
Yeah.
But I've
Not
never
gonna
seen
happen.
it. I've never seen
Not
it
gonna
happen.
happen.
Never
Not
seen it
gonna
happen. They always go bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yep.
That's what you'll hear.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome. Roger Woolsey, thank you so much for joining us on Own the Jet. I really want to have you back sometime.
Oh, for
because
sure.
This has been great, and I really enjoy being here at Millionaire in White Plains. This is like this as an experience for somebody that doesn't do a whole lot of private aviation. Like, this has been crazy to me. Like, just this facility. So thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for being on the show. Looking forward to having you next time.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it a lot.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
For sure.
Thank you for watching Own the Jet. If you want to see more Own the Jet, make sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and leave a comment telling us what aspect of jet ownership you'd like to know more about. Own the Jet is brought to you by Aspen Aero Group, your trusted partner in private and corporate jet ownership. Learn more at aspenaerogroup.com. This has been a Savage Media production.